Yo, what is going on, guys? So, this is going to be the second episode of the Pro Coach analysis. Now, this is actually going to be a video of my own. I understand that this series is meant to be mostly of other people's games, but this one I just felt like I had to do it. I feel like it would be probably great value to you guys, so I just couldn't quite skip it. So, and this is a montage as well, so there's a lot of moments here. And it's much more focused in the sense that it's a montage, it's not like a full game. So, I'll be able to focus a lot on chases here for Survivor in particular, since the first episode was mostly on Killer. I thought it would be nice to do a Survivor one for the second episode. And the third episode is going to be a nurse game of one of my other students. So that one is already set up in the bag. He's going to be coming after this one soon enough. Now, for the people that are new, so who the hell am I, and who am I to be, evaluating games and whatnot? So just a quick summary. I I've been playing DBD for what, like I think more than 4 years now, and I was pretty much I played tournaments as well for like 2 years, so I was very present on the competitive scene for DBD. But that was a long time ago. I was playing since the very first official Dead by Daylight tournament. That was when I started. Um, it was a tournament that was actually sponsored by Behavior as well, so it was pretty much as official as it gets. And it was hosted by Space Esports. So anyway, so I've been playing for competitive both on like very professional official tournaments as well as amateur ones. Are usually those hosted by streamers and whatnot. So I play both types of tournaments. So and I've been playing the game itself for like 4 years, so I have a shit ton of experience to say the least. So that's what I'll be trying to pass on to you guys here with the analysis. All right. Now, I mean, it says in the video here, but if you want to, for whatever reason, you want my coaching or my training, just check the description below. I have my Twitch channel there. I just haven't been streaming too much because I've actually I'm working on a lot of projects, including the nurse course. Okay, guys, that I told it to you guys a little while back. So that is going to be ready to go soon enough. Um, we are working every day on putting one step after the other towards finishing that course so I can bring it on to you guys. And after that course, I will move on to the Survivor course, which is probably the ones you guys will be the most high demand, because most people play Survivor. So anyway, that's the update. We're definitely working on things, a lot of projects, not just in the game itself, things regarding my life as well, professional, whatnot, other things. So that's why I just haven't been streaming too much. But in case you want to follow me, and if I should do happen to stream eventually, this is the link will be there. Um, Now enough talking. Let's move on to the analysis, right? Now just the intro, but I can let me see, I hope the volume is not too loud for you guys. But you know, one thing people kind of ask me a lot. You see, my game is often on different languages. That's because I actually speak 12 languages, so I usually like to keep changing everything everywhere, essentially, that I can, just to kind of get more exposure to the language, because I do want to get fluent on all of them in the same level that I am with my English. So that's the reason. So here's pretty basic. Just found the killer, starting the chase. I really hope that's not too loud, so you guys can hear my voice and everything. Now moving on to the structure here, and so we're gonna use this window here really for efficiency purposes. So we can delay using the palette, as much as we can. The palette is really just meant to be like at least if you're playing efficiently, right? As a last resort, because you want to use windows and other things like that nature as much as you can before actually committing to the palette, because the palette is limited, the windows are not. So once you use that palette, it's gone forever, both for you and your team. So you want to preserve that as much as you can. And the way you do that is really by being efficient and actually using the windows, as much as you can. For this is like a very strong tile, so you can definitely use this window. Maybe depending on how the killer loops it, maybe through 2 or 3 times before you're forced to use that palette. Now I don't know if you could tell there, but I just noticed he had bloodlust. Sorry, bloodlust, not bloodlust. He probably does have bloodlust though. um, he's had bamboozled, so I couldn't vault that window again like I was planning to. So I quickly adjusted, but as soon as I saw the window block, I just kind of turned here, and I'm making my way to the pallet so I don't get hit. Now, right there, I actually tried to drop the pallet, but I couldn't get it to go down. I guess I was too far. I don't know what happened there. But my idea was actually to drop the pallet after he whiffed the hit, so that he would get stunned. Because now you see, I'm gonna get hit for free because there's no way I'm gonna, especially with him having bloodless, there's no way I'm going to make all that loop again before I can get to the pallet. So I'm already expecting a hit right here after that. So, and this is what I do. Like once you know you're gonna get hit regardless. Like the only like scenario that I think is actually good to 360 is if you already have a pellet nearby or something that you can use. Once you 360 him and he whiffs, you know, that will allow you to get somewhere safe without getting hit. That's the only time I think a 360 is useful. Otherwise, like in this scenario, if I 360 him here, there is no point. Like I'm gonna get hit again after. You know, he misses one time, but he's not gonna miss the second one, so it achieves nothing. So it's way better if I just take the hit on purpose and I use the boost to do something better with it. Which in this case, I'm going to use the boost to... You see, I just totally ran towards him because I want to use the boost to... as soon as I noticed that I was not going to be able to avoid the hit, I just used the boost to go to Shack, which is a very strong area. And I can very easily and safely loop him here for quite a long time. So right there, this is kind of a 50-50. I don't really know if he's going to go backtrack or not. This was also really risky. Because I felt like he you know, you could tell he was swinging early back there as well. So I was expecting him to do the same here. This is really just me evaluating the killer. You know, something you should be doing during the chases, and something that as you're a killer you should be doing for the survivors as well. Always evaluating the play style, you know, so you can kind of get in their heads much better once you understand it. Now again, going back. Now again, bamboozle, I cannot vault the window again, so I have to commit to the pallet here because otherwise he's gonna hit me. Now something I would try to do if I had a little bit more distance would be to go to the, if you can see my mouse, go to the bottom here and loop it all the way back again and inside, and then use that hard to drop the pallet. But he's too close, so I won't be able to do that. That's why but that would be way more efficient because I'll be using the perk, you know, to extend the chase rather than wasting the pallet right away. But in this case, I really don't have much choice, so I have to drop the pallet, especially being injured, or I'm going to go down. And really, the first chase is most important chase of the game, so it don't matter if you waste pallets. It's more important that you last, especially if you can get three gens done before you go down. That's pretty much GG at that point. So again, this is another thing that I don't see people use a lot. Notice how I'm running in a straight line. I'm just maximizing the distance as much as I can from the mastermind. That's from another game. Never mind that. From the killer, because like if I turn to the right here, for example, I'm definitely close enough to be able to get to whatever structure is here. But I'm making the distance short, if you can imagine, by going to the right. You know, I can gain more distance by running, you know, straight ahead in relation to him than I would by running like in parallel here, like a perpendicular. You know, he's gonna get to me much faster if I'm running to the side rather than straight ahead. So by running straight ahead, and I already know I'm safe because I can see pallets here, so I don't have to worry about necessarily changing directions. And that's really just extending the chase without actually wasting pallets to do so. Because for example, if I turn to the right here, he's gonna get to me much sooner, and I'll have to waste a pallet right away. Now, but by running forward, you see how much distance, how much time I'm wasting here, without actually wasting any pallets, and the chase is still going. Now you just gotta be careful when doing this because he can actually get bloodless 1 just by the time he catches up to me. So, like for example, at this point, he probably already has bloodless 1 just from following me for that long. So you gotta be careful with that because as soon as you approach the loop, he probably already has a bloodless 1 when you do that. And you see he's pretty fast, he's already catching up to me. So I have to use dead hard here. And because he whiffed the hit, you know, I have enough time to drop the pallet there. Now, Hawkins here is a really, you know, bad map. So I already know, like, these pallets are kind of all both pretty unsafe. So I already know I'm kind of going to go down here. So all I can really do is kind of put up a good fight, you know. You see how I quickly adjusted there. I was I was adjusting mid chase there. I kind of saw this pallet is really safe, so it's not really worth taking it. So as soon as I saw this pallet was here, especially windows of opportunity helps me with that. I changed direction right away and I used that pallet to get the stun there. Now this is actually a glitch or something that happened here. You see, like he kind of teleported back. I don't know what happened there, but that was kind of a glitch in the game, so or lag, whatever. So I had to use that heart to compensate there. So again, this pallet is really unsafe. Like as long as she doesn't break this pallet, I'm gonna go down, guarantee. So I'm not gonna try to play that pallet because it's really unsafe. So I was really running away here to hoping this door would be open, but it's not. So I'm pretty much screwed. Sometimes I think the layout of the map, this door is open. In this case, it just wasn't. So just my luck, you know. So best I can do is really just loop this and maybe combo with the pallet there. Once she's close enough to be able to, you know, make the chase last longer. You see, so like right now it's pretty clear. I'm probably gonna get hit here. So I kind of fake going for the pallet, but instead I do a 360 because I know I know she has to swing early to be able to get the distance enough to get that hit. So I'm gonna use the fact that she has to swing early to do a 360 because you know because she from her point of view she's kind of swinging forward and then turning to the left, so she cannot really see me going for the 360, if you know what I mean, you know? To her is pretty much a surprise that I just did a 360. Not to me though, because from my angle of the camera is, you know, much different. But because I know her angle of the camera, this is something I use to my advantage. So you see, she reacted late, even though she turned. She reacted late because as she's coming from here, she's essentially looking forward, so she cannot see me going for the 360. So as soon as she finishes going forward and turns left, to her it's really just a surprise that I just did the 360s because she's expecting me to vault the pallet, and that's why she swung early to get enough distance. So that's what I did there against her. And now again, but I'm still kind of fucked up. She probably has +1 or something at this point. So like right, that was a 360. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is it's kind of a fake 360. You see how I turned to the left? Sorry, yeah, I think it was her left. But what I did there essentially, the way you do this, you really just kind of turn your body outside of the red stain because the red stain is really what the killer can see. So as you can see, like I turned to the left there enough that I would, let me see if I can pause there a little better so you guys can see. Let's just get there. Okay, so here I'm turning, and you see, I can pause there, but you see how I kind of stopped outside of the resting before I ran back to her. It seems like I'm about to do a 360 because she cannot see me when I'm, you know, right here outside of the resting. So she kind of, that's why you see she kind of swing to the left and missed because I didn't commit to the 360. It was just kind of a fake. But to her, from her point of view, which is the first person, it seems like I was actually going for the 360. So she actually tries to hit behind her instead of hitting in front of her. So that causes her to miss. Or sometimes the auto aim will cause her to miss as well, because she's moving away from you as you know, she's moving her aim to the right here, as you were moving your body to the left. So that will kind of confuse the auto aim and cause her to miss. Right there, I knew it was that. So I mean, I could have just vaulted the pallet instead of teabagging, but I mean, I was dead anyway, so I might as well have some fun. So that's why I teabagged there, but I kind of killed myself by doing that. I could have easily, instead of teabagging, use the distance to vault this pallet one more time, but I would be forced to play around it, so you know I would be dead anyway. So I just kind of had some fun there. Okay, so right here, because for you guys, you don't know the context of the match, right? So I know for sure no one's going to save her right now because you know she's about to hit struggle, as you can see there, and nobody's really close. So even though he's chasing me, I'm thinking about how can I mid chase save this person because otherwise she's gonna go struggle. So this is what I'm thinking here as I'm making this chase. Let me just point out something that's really important here as well. Is really positioning is something like that's really important. Seems to be a little delay when I pause it. But you see how I'm positioning right here? This is the best position. So if for whatever side she comes from, you know, I'm at the best position to react to. Like for example, if I stay like right here at the pallet and she comes from the left, I have very little time to react rather than being here. But also I cannot be here because if she comes here, I won't be able to see her with my camera if I'm standing here. You see? So again, I will only be able to see her once she gets to this point, which is already too close for me to keep running, and get to the pallet before getting hit. So this position is quite crucial because it allows me to cover both sides, both options here. You know. In this case, if she comes from here as well, I can just easily react and get to the pallet anytime. You see right there, she was expecting me to drop the pallet, but I didn't. So you see, I didn't vault the window because again, I'm planning on saving her. I just want to use any chance that I get to get the save, because otherwise I know she's gonna go struggle. So this is what I'm thinking here. But you see, she to my left there, I noticed that she didn't kept running forward. She kind of made the turn there, so she would probably be able to get a catch on me here if I try to go for the save. So I'm gonna adapt and I'm gonna continue the loop here and go try another chance later. That was a an intentional moonwalk right there, I think. Sorry again. She's kind of close. I can tell she was about to swing, so I dropped the pallet and get the. I could probably even fake the pallet here, but that was a big risk. So I just dropped the pallet. So the reason I also dropped the pallet is because I want her to get stunned because that would give me time enough to go for the save, like I mentioned, which is my goal here. I just want to make her force her to give me a chance here or something that I can get some time to go for the save. And you see, because of the stun, she also seemed to be, she broke the pallet, so that gave me even more time to go for the save. But even if she did not break the pallet, I would be able to easily, safely save her. Maybe I would have to take a hit for it, but she would be saved and not hit struggle. So essentially here, I just really was trying to go for the save mid chase. That's how I kind of worked around it to make it happen. Now this window is like very strong, pretty broken in a way, which is what I mentioned. Like you definitely want to use windows as much as you can. So just notice the time on the chase is like 3:55 there on the time on the video. Just notice how long this chase is gonna take, just because I'm using windows. But keep in mind when you're using windows like this, he's like by the time you do the second vault like this, he's already gonna have like Lilith 1. So if you don't have a pallet nearby, you're gonna get hit. And you see, I didn't even worry about finding a pallet. If you don't want to, if you're injured, obviously this would be a dumb play if you're injured because you're essentially giving him the, the down eventually. But because I'm healed, this is why I'm doing this, because I'm healed. I know I can take the hit. So I'm just gonna loop it three times anyway, even though he hits me, to waste a lot of his time. So you see right there, that was already like 20 seconds easily, 30 seconds chase, by looping this 3 times. So I'm gonna take the hit, but if I was already injured, what I would do is as soon as I vaulted that the second time or the first time for that matter, I would already start going for a pallet instead of looping the window again. So you see again, I know I'll take the hit here, but it's fine. I'm gonna get an insane amount of distance now from that hit, and he's still gonna have to vault the window and whatnot to recover from the hit. So it was definitely worth the trade, considering I'm not, wasting pallets to do so. I can just heal myself later if he leaves the chase. And now I also have access to Dead Hard. Now this is another thing, like I mentioned before, with using the boost. Like I already know I'm going to get hit, so I'm already thinking in my head what I'm going to go to after I get the boost. And in my head, I was already thinking about going to this house because there's a very broken window here, as you're going to see. And this is something that's very key to playing Survivor. You need to, it's like a chess game. You need to be thinking ahead as you're going for the chases. That's kind of key to being good on the chases. Like the more steps ahead you are of the killer, the better you're going to do on the chases. So right here, I could tell he didn't commit, so I didn't vault the window because I could tell he was probably going, he was faking going inside, and he actually backtracked to be able to hit me after I vaulted, but I caught him on it. So now that I see his resting, which is kind of a, let me go back a little bit, which is kind of a crucial point here as well. Like he pretty much has to be somewhere around here, if he's not like up this close to me, there's really no reason for me to vault the window. So it's the reason why I know when to vault and when not to is really because I have sort of a focal point, so to speak, a safe point. If you imagine like a safe line here, this is the line where as soon as he goes past, if I didn't started vaulting already, I'm gonna go down for it. So it's kind of a safe line that I have here, As long as he doesn't cross the safe line, I don't have to worry about vaulting the window. So you know what I mean? So in that case, because I didn't see him go to the safe line, I didn't vault the window earlier, and so it happened that he actually tried to cut me off there. So you see again, he didn't cross the safe line, so I don't have to worry about vaulting it. And you see now he definitely crossed the safe line, so I can easily vault this. Need to vault this, or I'm gonna get hit. And this window is like so broken. Most people, especially before the patch, that they nerfed balanced landing, people used to loop the top, but this window was always the best window in this house. People don't seem to know about it for whatever reason. This window is way better than the top windows. And he cannot even get bloodless because usually it's very hard to keep line of sight on you on this window. And the window doesn't get blocked too, because if he doesn't have line of sight, the game consider as you're not in chase, so it does not block the window even though you're using it multiple times. You see, like right here, he doesn't have line of sight on me, so the chase ends. You see right there, escaped. And I can just keep vaulting the window pretty much infinitely without getting blocked. Now, obviously, he shouldn't be chasing me here. That's his mistake. I mean, this is a broken setup. You shouldn't chase the survivor around here. That's just broken map layouts. You gotta thank the devs for that. So again, safe line. He didn't cross the safe line, so I don't have to worry about vaulting. Instead, I'm just gonna position so I can get a better view in case he does come back. And maybe he got a little angry, so he wanted to turn on me after that. It's fine though. And this is what I mean, like, DS is a very broken perk, because if you know what you're doing, as you can see here, like, you don't need DS. Like, you can easily chase, if he tries to tunnel you, you can easily, you know, last so long, last way more than the DS timer would, you know, on a chase, if he tries to tunnel you. So it's just like a crush perk, it's so pointless. It just, like, rewards not having skill, I would say. That's why, one of the reasons why I think it should nerf it, because it's so unnecessary. Like, if you're actually good, you don't need DS. Like, if he tunnels you, it's almost like a good thing, because he's gonna waste so much time chasing you. You know, your team's gonna get all the gens then. So right there, I could tell he gave me a few signs that he was not going to he was going to respect the pallet, and he started going to the other side of the rock there. So as soon as I saw that, I didn't drop the pallet because I didn't want it to, you know, force myself into the animation and lose distance. So as soon as I could realize he was not going to going to respect the pallet, I just didn't drop it, as you can see there, and that actually gave me quite a bit of distance on him. So this is just a normal looping, really. Now, I could have tried to loop this one more time before dropping it, but the reason why I didn't is because he probably has Bloodless 1 at this point, considering, you know, he's chasing me for some time now, even before I looped that car back there. So by trying to loop this a second time instead of dropping the pellet right now like I did, I would probably go down, or I would be forced to use Dead Hard because of his Bloodlust. So that's not good, you know. So for that reason, I just dropped the pallet a little earlier, not to take any chances. And again, it's just like normal looping. He probably has Bloodlust too right now. He's pretty fast. So I have to play this pallet. This is a really unsafe pallet, so I'm already thinking in my head, I need to get out of here, you know. So I'm just waiting for a chance to get out of here. That was a mind game, so I just kind of faked vaulting it, and he was trying to go around, but yeah. So again, this is kind of a safe line type of deal. You know, I can see this is kind of my safe line. As soon as I saw that he crossed it, I'm like, okay, I need to vault this. So see, again, because he has probably like Bloodlust 3 at this point, I know I can probably not make that whole turn like around before he gets to me and gets the hit with the lunge. So I'm gonna vault again. Now this is another reason why I'm doing this, because he could react to this vaulting, right? He could like fake going here and go back. But the reason why I'm doing this at this particular moment is because you see I'm vaulting at the moment where he's behind the tree, so he cannot see me going for the vault. To him, it just seems like I'm still continuing the loop. So you know, instead of vaulting like with him here or something where he can see me, I'm vaulting at the time where he has no line of sight on me. That was pretty crucial here. So you can see to him it was a complete surprise that I vaulted because he couldn't see me. And see right now he tried to lunge at that, so that's my cue for bailing out of there. Because that pallet is unsafe. If we keep playing like that, he's gonna kill me eventually with Ballistery. So right now we move to the safest close area was this window, so that's why I moved to there. And now I can definitely hold the chase here, even if he has Bloodlust. He actually tried that swing, he almost got it too. That's crazy. But you see, now we have a like insane amount of distance, so I think we're pretty safe. Now this was a very kind of crit scenario. So I can tell she's going for me, so, and I'm already injured, so yeah, I just kind of have to last long here so my teammate can open the doors while she's chasing me. Now right here, I didn't try to vault the window because that was a possible 50-50 for her considering the distance. So if I happen to vault this window right now, she could have faked, instead of going here, she could have faked and you know, backtracked, and she would be able to hit me easily. So I just didn't vault it to avoid that possibility considering that I'm already injured. So this is something I also have in mind, and I think it's very crucial that you have as well. There's some types of plays that I do. You know, my play style is different when I'm injured and when I'm not injured, because that's kind of crucial for making the chase last long. Because if you imagine, if it's a bad killer, it might work vaulting that early, but if it was a good killer, she could have easily mind gamed me there and get the free hit. And because I was trying to be a smartass, I would just go down in 30 seconds instead of making this last as long as you will see that it's going to last, because I'm playing it a bit more smart, you know, more safe. That was just a little trick there. You see, I kind of turned my body very rapidly, and I'm standing still as I'm doing that as well. Just turn the body very rapidly and drop the pallet, because the animation is faster when you're standing like that, dropping the pallet. So to her, it's kind of a surprise, but this is kind of risky because she can do the short lunge and possibly hit you if you do that. But it's a good way to get a stun this way, because it's a surprise to the killer when you do that, especially if he's expecting you to continue looping. So again, the reason why I wanted to get this done is because I need to get out of here. I need to get to that door, you know. So that's the only way I'm going to escape. So I'm not just simply being chased. I'm planning the chase, you know. I'm trying my best to lead the chase as the survivor, you know. Because she's the one following me. I'm not the one following her. So I have the power to lead the chase, and this is kind of what I'm doing here. And I'm trying to lead the chase to that door so I can escape. Right there is pretty crucial. The longer side of the loops are always the safest ones. It's harder for her to mind game here because, you know, the distance is bigger for her to like go around it. So I can easily see her turning and react to it. Over here on the right side, not so much. It's pretty short, so I have a less reaction time to her, you know, mind gaming and going kind of faking the side here. So you see right there, I quickly move my camera because I was really trying to identify which side was the longest one. And as soon as I saw, I was going for the short one, but as soon as I saw it was a short one, I was like, okay, no, get out of there. I need to go to the long one. So that was that quick turn there. So you see me doing with my camera. It was really just me evaluating the loop right there. So you see, like right now, she's kind of turning directions. I can easily react better. I have more time to react being on the long side. If this was on the short side, she would probably hit me very easily. And see her again, easy stun. And now I can make it to that door. However, it's not open. So yeah, unlucky. But you see how I kind of I went out outside of the door so my teammates could get it open, and then I led the chase back to the door so I could get away. This is all I'm thinking this far ahead, you know. So you can see it's very important that you think that far ahead on the chases, because I'm actually, this is not like by accident. I'm doing all of this on purpose, and I'm very mindful of what I'm doing. So again, here she's pretty close. So luckily for me, I have the structure, which is kind of safe. There's no pallet here, but the window is pretty safe. So I can definitely hold her a little longer here, and maybe, you know, sometime my teammates can open the window, the window, not the door, so I can safely exit. That little spin was really for no purpose whatsoever. It's just like a show off, I guess. Again, I didn't vault the window even though I could, because that would be a risky 50-50 considering I'm already injured. This was a kind of a 50-50 as well, but this time I have to play it. I have to play it because I don't have the distance to keep running forward. Now this is actually a bit of a mistake, because now I kind of have enough distance that I have to make a move here. I cannot vault this window again, or I'm going to go down. So I need to make my way to the door. However, I'm gonna go like inside the structure here. This was a bit of a mistake because obviously it's gonna be, the distance is longer if I go inside than if I just run straight. So I should have run straight to the door instead of going like this. I should have just went straight here instead of turning here. I don't know though. Maybe yeah, because usually when you're looping like this, you do gain a bit of distance on the killer. So that's probably why I went to the inside first. I don't know honestly, but possibly it would have been better to just run straight here. And you see right there, like I mentioned, I was buying time for my teammates to open the door. So because I knew my time was limited there, I knew there was no pallets in this area anymore. So I'm gonna go down eventually. I just need to buy as much time as I can, and then go for the door in the last second that I have, so I can get away. That's my best chance to give as much time as possible for someone, any soul, to go there and open the door. Now this was an easy escape. Easy escape. It's just that he didn't body block properly here. But this was an easy escape. He just had to body block properly. You see right there, he failed. But easy. It was easy. Very easy escape. I could have waited to use Dead Heart as well, a little bit more, but it was all good. It was just that she didn't body block properly. I didn't really play that badly, I would say. And again, here she can easily get a save here, but she's going to miss that. Because he's forced to pick me facing, either forward or backwards, and they're all close to go for the flashlight. So, but they missed. So they missed 2 times there, and they could have saved me. And now she's being smart by taking me to a far hook, but it is a risk because I might just wiggle. And again, they failed to body block her again. So this is the 3rd time they could have easily saved me here if they had taken just a single hit. But luckily they have borrowed time. So, and you see this is kind of key. She just saved me, so she's gonna go down. So I'm gonna try to take the hit for her with my borrowed time, so that she can gain distance instead of going down, as you see here. You see, if I don't do that, she would go down easily. I think she actually used that hard, and that's probably why it hit me instead of hitting her. Because usually you don't have that much time to leave the hook and go for the body block. And you see, because they're all healed, they can take the hit and use the boost to get to the door. And that's GG, essentially. But you see how this is all was not necessary. They just had to body block properly. And that little smart play around that I did with the looping and everything, it would have easily guaranteed my escape already. So yeah, it was very well played. This is still the same game, just a little earlier. We're kind of looping on Shaq here. So right there, you see, I was kind of thinking about going that way. The reason why I didn't do that is because I could tell the distance wasn't that much. So I was kind of fearful that if I tried to loop that way, she would catch up to me before I could get to this window, because I would go around and circle it, but and I would probably have to waste that hard to make it to that window. So as soon as I realized that in my head, I was like, okay, let me just go inside and vault this window. Instead of taking that risk, again, I'm injured, so when I'm injured, I don't take risks. I just play safe, because that's the best way to make the chase last longer. Now, if I'm already healed, then yeah, I'll definitely try something more of a smart ass type of play. And again, check window, pretty safe. Now, this is the same idea here. The safe line would be kind of around here. As soon as he steps in, that's when he crossed the safe line, and you should vault the window. Otherwise, you should really not worry about vaulting the window. You see, he crossed the safe line there, so I can vault this, and he won't be able to get to me before I get to the pallet. Or in this case, I have enough distance that I can actually not use the pallet, as you can see, which is something that I mentioned that I plan on doing with that clown earlier, but I just didn't do it because the distance was just not enough. But in this case, it is, and she probably has +1 right there. She probably just got +1 at that point because you can tell she's moving a little bit faster. But this was already planned. I already knew I would have to use that hard to make this extra looping, but it's fine, because I'm extending the chase without using the pallet again, so it's always good. But I already knew I would have to waste that hard to make that happen, so it was already pre-planned as soon as I vaulted this window, essentially. and this still got the stun. So now I have like a major distance on her. It's pretty much a guarantee more like an entire minute of chase time if she commits to me. Now we have this Huntress here. Just gonna show you a cheeky play here. They're gonna try to chase me here, but it's pretty safe. And she left me to go for the pickup, so I had to use that hard to get the distance enough and the proper timing there to get that save. So that's what I did. You can also do that with flashlights. Sometimes use the dead hard to get the distance. This is another one of those smart ass plays. This is usually not too hard to pull off. I'm not gonna lie. You just have to play really smart, honestly. But you see, I'm the last one standing. She just left. She opened the door too. So it's pretty much just me and him now, and that door is not open in front of me, as you can see. I already knew the door was there. Okay, so that's why I looped around it, because I knew I could loop around it, and went straight to the door. But I was hoping it would be open, but it's not. So I'm kind of okay. I have to think of something new now because the door is not open. Which in this case, my options here, I already know this, but my options is really just finding the hatch or going to the other door, which I know the other door is up there. Okay, so you guys seen the montage, you probably don't know the context of the match, but I already knew the door was up there, the other door. Okay, so right, I already knew all my options. I just didn't know where the hatch was in particular. So I have some structure here, so I can loop it pretty safely here. But again, it's the same thing of the other one. I'm already thinking ahead, like I need to lead this chase towards the door so I can get away. You see, I'm not dropping the pallet because she's not close enough. I don't want to just waste for nothing there. And you see right there, I got a little distance. I could tell she wasn't properly following me there. So as soon as I saw she gave me she kind of slacked off there. I had an opportunity. I just took it to lead the chase more to that door. And I already know there's check here and a few other pallets that I can use. So for that reason, this is why I'm trying my best to lead the chase here. And even if she was already here, I could have easily looped this car right here and then go back to that structure that I just left, because I did not drop the pallet earlier. I could have still used it in case I had to go back to that structure for whatever reason. So again, pallet here, so I'm safe. Again, like right here, if I didn't drop the pallet here and I tried to run, instead of dropping, I ran backwards again. She would have, and she kept going forward. She could have probably reached me and still got the hit on me before I made it to the pallet. Maybe I would have to use that hard to make that, so it was just a waste overall. So I just dropped the pallet to be more safe, and also because if she tried to lunge early here, dropping the pallet like this would have stunned her. So I would be able to get the distance that way as well. We'd be creating another opportunity. In this case, she didn't lunge, so I couldn't get the the opportunity that I tried to create there. But you see, if she committed to going this way, that would be my opportunity to keep running towards Shack. But she didn't. So as soon as I saw she didn't, I went back to the loop right away to my safety net. And this is also important. You see how I'm using my camera as well to always look back. If you're not doing that, you can't decide on these type of plays. So you have to be looking at the killer at the proper moments. So you see, like right now, she definitely committed here, but I don't have enough distance to go to Shack, so I have to play this pallet. And she probably realized that I'm gonna make it to this pallet, so she's going to backtrack here, as you see. Yeah, you see, because if I vault that, I was dead. So I was already expecting her, to do that, but that's why I didn't vault it. But she can win here. She just has to hold me on this loop, and the timer will end eventually. So what I'm trying here is just I'm trying to force her to go to this side as much as I can, so she gives me a leeway to go to the Shack. That's what I'm trying to do here. In this case, I'm hiding, so she gets confused to where I am, and maybe she'll probably think that I'm on this side, and that will force her to go there to check, and that's my cue to go away. So this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm trying to hide as much as possible to get her confused and force her to check that side, which you see right there. And so she did. I don't know if she lost me or not, but she definitely went to that side. And that's my opportunity there. Now I can make it to Shack again. I'm just gonna drop the spell right away because I want to have the room here to play around. And again, the door's to my left, so I'm trying to lead the chase there. Now you guys can probably you can tell here you cannot tell this, but I can hear the hatch is right here, right next to Shack. Okay, where my mouse is. So I couldn't obviously I couldn't go to the hatch because you can see right there she you know she was gonna get to me before I could get to the hatch. But well actually it's not that. It's just that I didn't know the hatch was there. You know, it was kind of surprise to me when I heard it. But she was already close enough to where I could not, you know, go to the hatch. So that's why I was forced back inside. But at this moment, I know that I have the checkmate because, well, yeah. I mean, she kind of played this a little dumb. Like she could have played this a little smarter, as you're going to see. But I kind of knew I had a checkmate here because position. Because if she closes the hatch, she's going to give me enough distance to go for the door. And if she does not like close the door, I can, sorry, close the hatch. I can go for the hatch. You know, so it's kind of a bad scenario for her. Her best play here is really to do neither. She just has to hold me in this position as much as she can until the timer ends. So this is what I'm doing here. The reason why I'm vaulting the pallet instead of the window is because I know she's probably going to hear the hatches there too. So at this point, I already know that in my head. I have already planned ahead that if she closes that hatch, I'll be able to get away. So at this point, I already know that. So this is why I'm vaulting backwards, back to the pallet instead of the window, because I want her to think that maybe I didn't know the hatch was there, or I want her to actually go close it. You know. So by if I vault the window, she's probably going to loop backwards here. This is not what I want. I want her to go for the hatch. So this is why I chose the pallet instead of the window here. And because it puts her in a bad because if she loops to the left here and she goes all the way around, I can just go to the door easy. But if she goes to the right, I can go then to the left and I'll be able to get the hatch. So it's kind of a better position for me. So you see, as soon as I noticed that she heard the hatch and she's going to commit to the close, that's when I leave the loop, left the loop, and I went for the door right there. And she closed it. But by doing so, she gave me enough distance to make it to the door, and because I didn't play dumb and I didn't waste my dead heart earlier, I can even use that to get more distance now. Yeah, just like that, and see she's respecting it. So yeah, you see, it's pretty not too hard. It's just you gotta be smart about it. Um, this is really just a Freddy. It's really good when you have a object of obsession because it pretty much makes mind games impossible because you can always see him. It's very good. So you see, in this case, I know I have enough distance to go all the way around here instead of jumping the window from the inside, which is way more unsafe. Because if I jump from the inside, he can mind game me, right there by cutting me off, backtracking and whatnot. So by going this way, it's not just more efficient because I'm extending the chase longer, but I'm also avoiding that 50-50 by going this way. So that's why I did that. And again, in this case, was the thing that I mentioned. He did not cross the safe line there. I actually jumped that earlier than I had to, and usually it's bad when you jump this early because you can tell he kind of went back inside. But if he didn't do that, I would be kind of screwed. He would have gained a lot of distance on me because I jumped that too early. You always want to wait for him to cross the safe line before you commit to the vault. And really, you can never miss because you just have to react to him crossing or reaching the safe line. And there's no way you can miss as long as you don't vault before he crossed the safe line. You're good to go, and you react in time, obviously. Because if you react too late to him getting to the safe line, then yeah, you probably gonna get hit for waiting the vault. So again here, you see this is definitely crossing the safe line, so I can vault this. And the way you do this is like you don't have to keep running. Usually I just start walking at this point as I'm waiting for him to either cross the safe line or not. So because by walking I'm still maintaining distance enough to the window that I can get a fast vault. If you're just running like this all the time, you won't be able to. You see, like, right, kind of stutter there. You see, that was just me waiting for him to cross the line, the safe line. That little stutter right there, and because he didn't, I can actually use this to my advantage now and completely avoid the 50-50 by going all the way around here again. And this is pretty much guaranteed for me. It's a guaranteed window here. He cannot mind game this. Now it's again the same mind game again. He's going to cross the safe line or not. He did, but I didn't react properly to it because I was not stuttering. This is what fucked me up here. I was not stuttering. If I was stuttering, I could have easily reacted to him crossing. In this case, I just committed right away of not vaulting the window before I even checked or not if he crossed the safe line. So that was my mistake here, and it actually backfired because now he actually did commits to go inside, and I cannot use this pallet because it's I think it's a fake pallet, by the way. You guys probably don't know that, but I do. During the match, this pallet that I'm looping right here is fake as well. I already know that, even though I'm looping it. So I don't know if he does, but because he's gonna try to swing here, I'm gonna try to. Even though it's a fake pallet, I'm still trying to fake the use here. So he will maybe miss the hit like that, and I don't know, maybe get some distance or something. But there's no pallet there whatsoever, so I'm kind of dead regardless. But the reason why I didn't drop that is because I already know it's a fake pallet, just so you guys know. That was that hard right there. He actually whiffed the hit. You cannot see that, but he whiffed. That's why I was able to get enough distance there. So again, same thing here. You notice how I'm not taking the window from the inside if I have enough distance to take it from the outside because this is a much safer play. I'm not putting myself on the 50-50 there. I'm not giving him the chance to mind game, See, from this angle is guaranteed vault. He cannot mind game this. And now the reason you see how I left, as soon as I got enough distance there, I left the loop because there's no pallet there, so I'm gonna go down eventually. So I need to, get somewhere else. However, I already know the layout of the entire map here, so I know there's no pallet here to where I'm going. However, there is a strong window that I can use to maybe gain more distance that way to a safe pallet. But in my head, I already know I'm going to a place there's no pallets because I have already used this, or someone else used this pallet earlier in the match, as you see there. So my idea is really just to try to make something happen because if I just keep looping this, especially from that angle, which I have to do is the medium vault, he's gonna down me, especially with bloodlust and whatnot. So this was, kind of I wasn't like particularly planning on doing this, but I kind of did in a way, because you can see I was planning on vaulting back as he was looping to the left here, but he didn't. He came back. So as soon as I saw him come back, I kind of canceled, so to speak, my vault. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna vault anymore because he backtracked. But that actually kind of worked in my favor because you can see he was kind of confused. To him, it seemed like I was indeed going for the vault. So you see, he instead of going to the left, he actually went back to try to get me for vaulting, So it was essentially a fake vault that worked in my favor. And you see right there, he's like kind of confused, but that gave me enough distance to give me an opportunity to get the distance to reach someone else, which is what I was looking for, since I left that first ballot, right, like that first loop, like the first window all the way at the start of the chase. And now I can make to this window, which is still kind of safe. And there is definitely, I think to my right there, another pallet that I can use. It's not super safe, but it is something. So again, here, this is a risky, but I have to play this game. It's a 50-50. I have to take it because if I just keep looping down here, he's going to catch up to me before I make it to anything, to any pallet or not. So I have to fake the mind game here and hope that it works, and it did. So this way, I'm still able to maintain the chase here on this window in particular before going to a pallet, because I'm pretty safe right now, so I don't have to worry about using pallets yet. But I already know, like in this area right here, there's usually a pallet that spawns that I can probably use it once he starts getting too close to me, And you see, I'm also revealing him during all of this by pointing my camera. And the way you reveal him is he has to be at the center. Like if you imagine a square here, he has to be at the center of your screen to be revealed. If he's positioning like right here on your screen, you're not going to reveal him. So I don't know if you could notice that, but as I was looping, I'm also purposefully pointing the center of my camera at him, so I can also reveal him. Because if he's in that mode, he's kind of insidious, so I cannot see the resting, that can be a little bad. So this is why I was trying to review him during the chase. And you see again, he gave me enough distance again at this point, so I'm gonna try to go somewhere else. But at this point, I kind of knew I'm screwed. I just had to go to the other side of the map because this side everything is being used. There's only really windows here, unfortunately, because at this point in the match, most of the pallets were already gone. I mean, at least we're making the chase last longer, right? Right there, I got a bit stuck there. I don't know if you could tell. That was my mistake. Because of that, I'm gonna have to force a fake here to be able to keep the chase going. But you know, problem with that is that I faked into nothing essentially. But it was still my best bet to keep the chase going. But I'm kind of dead. I already know I'm kind of dead anyways. So yeah, I definitely went down after that, even though I cut the video. And now we are going against the Bubba. And this is something after the patch, he got a lot stronger, right? After they buffed him. So again, notice I'm looping the long side. The short side would be that side. So I'm looping the short side, like long side. I can very easily react to him changing directions. So you see, if he does this, he can totally hit you. If I just keep looping this, he's gonna hit me because he has like three charges on the chainsaw. He can definitely catch up to you if he doesn't hit the structure. So the way you avoid that is by going somewhere else, like this window for example, because now he's gonna have to go the way around. I can definitely avoid his three charges this way. If I just kept trying to loop that rock, he would be able to catch up to me eventually, or at the very least I would be able to force to be use the pallet, which is not what I want to do. So you see again, I could try to loop that that window again, but that positioning that it was probably I would be putting myself on a 50-50. So even though I am not injured, I'm still gonna choose a safer play here by taking this window instead of vaulting that other one and taking the 50-50 mind game chance. Because the reason for that is because I already know in my head that there's a pallet that I can reach that's to my left here, as you'll see. So yeah, even though I cannot even see it, that's just from previously in the game. I noticed that was a pallet there, so I'm already including that pallet in my chase plan here. That later in the game, so it's something you should do as well. Always memorize the locations as you're playing the match, so you can use it later. So you see right there, that's the pallet I was talking about. And also, I think the only reason why I saw this was actually because of windows of opportunity. I saw it way earlier. It was like in the beginning of the match that I saw this pallet here. So again, right here, this is not something I necessarily had to do. But I tried to leave the loop as he was recovering from the chainsaw, so I could get to the safer area, the middle there, because this is pretty much a corner. There's no palace anywhere down there, so it's way better for me to be looping him at the center. So I just tried to take that chance to make it to the center, but it's not going to really work out, as you can see here. And also preserve this pallet, obviously, right? Because that right there is mostly safe windows, so I'm not wasting pallets to use safe windows. But especially if he breaks this pallet with me being on this side, if he breaks the pallet with me on this side, I'm pretty much dead at that point. So that I wanted to avoid that, so that's why I tried to leave the loop here and go for the center. Now, someone asked me the other day how I got this outfit. This outfit is from the charity case. Yeah, I think it's charity case pack. So if you guys want to get that, the charity is not sold on the store, the in-game store. You have to buy it like separately. It's like a complete DLC pack, so to speak. So you have to go in the outside store, really like PSN store or whatever it is, to buy that. So you see right there, I was planning on making to that window. Maybe he had bullets, I don't know, but he was able to. That was really just a miscalculation on my part. I thought I could make this window, but I guess it was too far. So I got the hit for that. So again, I'm gonna not try to 360 that. Just gonna use the boost to, in this case, go to Shack, which is you know, the safest area around here. And then notice how I took the outside as well instead of going the inside, because I can get the window from a good angle, better angle. Again, this is again that thing that I mentioned, the safe line. I don't think I will do that here. Yeah, again, this is my mistake. I didn't play the safe line. I just committed to something right away instead of reacting, you know? This is bad. This is not what you want to do because this happens. So I thought he would go. I took the chance of him going, you know, not going inside and fake the window. But you don't have to take a chance. That's my point. You just react to him crossing the safe line, and you're at the advantage here. You know, as long as you react in time properly. So you don't have to do this. This is definitely a mistake on my part. And that because of that, I'm forced to drop the pallet now. So that was kind of dumb there. There's a not dumb, but you know, necessary. So again, notice I did not try to loop that pallet. Most survivors would just try to loop that pallet right away and lose all this distance they could have used to keep the chase going without wasting your pallets. This is really important as well. I don't know if you could tell there. Let me go back. That was not by chance. Um, you see, I vaulted the window and I purposefully went this way because I want him to think that I'm going that way, because my original plan is really to go to the right here because I know there's a pallet there, a structure. So, you know, but I don't want him to loop me from this angle. I mean, either way, I would be safe because there's a pallet down there as well. But my planning was really to go over here, so that's why you see, I quickly go out of line of sight, and then I go back when he cannot see me to make it to that side. See right there, Blake's line of sight. He thinks I'm still here, but I'm changing directions. And yeah, and that allows me to go to Shack again because he actually thought I went all the way down there. And you see again, notice the angle that I'm taking. This is not by chance. This is all with reason, because from this angle I can get the, you know, a better. I can vault the window. You know, with him being right here is that little safe line again. If I go from the inside, you know, it's just a mind game scenario for him. So it's not good for me. So you see again, it's the safe line again. You kind of have to. You see right there how I waited. This is what you want to do. And as soon as you cross the safe line, then I can commit to the vault. This is how you do it. And again, I have enough because I waited for the safe line. You can see I can easily get enough distance to even play this more optimal way here by going all the way around. Because if I vault again, if I vault from the center, I'm giving him the 50-50 chance to because I don't know if he's going to backtrack or not. So it's a 50-50. If he chooses properly, he's gonna hit me for it, and I'm already injured, so I don't want to deal with that. That's why I'm gonna go around. If I need to, I still have that heart, so it's worth the risk. Not the risk, but playing safe, you know. Even if I have to waste a perk to do so. Um, right there. This time I actually did not wait for the safe line again. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Sometimes I know what to do, but I don't do it. You know, kind of hate that. But you see, but that was kind of a safe line though, because you see he kind of stepped on it. But you can definitely wait a little longer. He has to be like fully inside the shack. That would be the last point that he actually crossed the safe line for you to vault. This was a mistake here as well. You can see I turned my camera because I saw him going, you know, around the house. This was a mistake. I should have kept looking at him because now I don't see what he's doing. So I don't know. You see, this is kind of confusing me because when I look back again, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's inside. I don't know if he's outside. So that little turn on the camera completely fucked me around here. And I was kind of like, shit, what do I do now? You know, I don't know where he is. Where do I loop to, you know? So the best thing would have been not to turn the camera that way. It was just because I saw him going outside, so I kind of assumed that he would go around, you know. But you never want to assume. You want to look at him and confirm, you know. So you see, I'm kind of circling around because I'm really confused. Like, where did he go? He doesn't seem to be inside. You know, where is he? Where is he? I'm kind of trying to figure it out here. And you see, as soon as I saw the resting, I'm like, shit. Okay, I gotta move. You know, because I saw he actually did went around the house this time because he actually faked twice there. He kind of faked going outside and then he went back in, and he actually didn't commit to going back in, and he went back like around again. So that completely confused me. So I was kind of shit. What I do now? But this is also something I saw. I don't know if you could tell, but during that chase, doing the whole chase, since the very first hit that I got from that window that I approached Shaq, using my if you want to go back to the video, you're probably gonna be able to see that. But I used my object of obsession to see there was a pallet here. Maybe I should go back. Let me see the time. 60 minutes. Where was it? Around here, maybe? Was it? Yeah, I think it was around here. Maybe it was even before this. Uh, you see right there? You see how I quickly turned my camera to the left there? That was me just checking if there was a pallet there or not. With the windows of opportunity. And you can see from here as well. There's a pallet there. So at this moment is when I realized that I memorized that the pallet was there, so I could use at that later moment that you're going to see here. Okay, so it's really just a perk there. That's how I knew there was a pallet there. It was not by chance that I ran that way, because I didn't have enough distance to make the safe play on the window again. So I just adapted by going to this pallet instead. That was the closest thing, so I could avoid the hit. And I also dead harder here because he could have swung at me right there if I didn't dead hard it. So I just dead hard to make the pallet safe. But you see what I mean? Like how I'm the fact that I'm memorizing everything, how much of a difference it makes on the chase. And this is one of the reasons why I started using Windows. Even though I don't necessarily need this. Quite honest with you guys, I don't think this perk is like absolutely necessary to do these type of plays. But it just helps, you know. As you can tell, it totally helped me that way. I did not have line of sight on that palette, but because of the perk, I was able to see it, so it helped me plan later in the match, in the chase itself. But you can just walk around normally around the map and just see the palette there visually instead of actually needing a perk to do so. But I don't know, the perks just helps because it also lets me see, you know, it lets me see beforehand what is wasted and what is not regarding the palettes. I just like using it. I don't know. It's not. I wouldn't say it's necessary, but you know, it helps. And because I'm trying to use a build that's solely focused on chase, not on crutches, just skill alone. So that's why I'm using this because then I can see the palettes and I can skillfully blend my chase rather than relying on a DS or some type of shit to save me in the match later. Much more fun to play. Much more fun to play with the skill alone. You know. So right here, you can see there's a pallet there again. I'm looping this until he commits to something because you saw he kept changing directions. I was just waiting for him to commit to something. And either way, if he commits to this side, I would go to that pallet there. And if he commits to this side like he did, I will go to the pallet that I'll try to reach here, which is the one in front of me that again I already know it's there from earlier. This one right here. So I can tell I don't have enough distance, and he probably has bloodlust from kind of changing directions earlier there. So he's gonna get to me before, and I already used Dead Hard as well, so I cannot rely on that. So what I'm gonna try to do here is really just to, and this is what I mean. Like at this point, I cannot take the hit to use the boost. You know what I mean? So at this point, this is when this is the moment for you to do a 360s. You know, I would say there's a right time, there's a wrong time to do 360s. So again, you see, I did the fake there. I'm actually gonna slow this down. Otherwise, you guys are probably not gonna be able to see it. 25, I think, slow enough. Yeah, you see. So that was a. I faked the 360 first. Now I'm gonna actually commit to it. So I'm just kind of switching up on him, you know, so he doesn't really like catch up to me in a way, because he's probably going to be expecting a pattern. So by changing like this, it's harder for him. You see right there, I committed. And during all of this, you can tell I'm not really losing control of my camera, even though I'm spinning around all over the place. It's kind of hard. You're gonna need some practice to do that, but it does help once you can get it down. Because I'm really at this point, I'm really just reacting to him, honestly. even though I'm not just like randomly juking. I'm actually planning my jukes, if you get what I mean. So in this case, I noticed he fell for it, but I can, because I'm watching him and reacting to him, I can tell he's still very aware of where I am. So I have the juke again, as you can see here. So at this point, I did 360 again, but this time I did it. I think the first time I did counterclockwise, and this time I'm 360 clockwise. You see, so in that sense, I'm also switching up on him. not just the type of juke, but also, well, how can I say that? Like the direction of the juke, I guess. I don't know. I'm just switching up on several ways here, as you can tell. Like the first juke was a 360, a fake 360. The second juke was an actual 360. I think it was counterclockwise, and which was already a switch up right there. Like I didn't, like, for example, try to fake the 360 2 times in a row. That's what I mean. And the third juke was also 360, but it was on the opposite, clockwise, so to speak, whatever. You guys understand. So it just I'm just switching up on him, so he doesn't, because he's probably going to be expecting a pattern. So that's why I want him to keep him on his toes, essentially. And you see, I can tell he got pretty confused from that. So I'm gonna, again. You see, I'm turning. I can see again. I'm doing all. I know it's very fast, but doing all of this, I'm actually looking at him and reacting to him, and planning my jukes based on what he's doing. No, I'm not just randomly spinning around and hoping he will miss. I'm actually planning my jukes, and I could tell he was kind of lost there. So the reason why because I know he's going to turn to the right here eventually, like he did. So that's why I'm turning that way before he actually turns fully to the right, because then he's gonna be even more confused, because he's already confused with the first juke, and now before he even like comes back to it, I'm already doing another juke on him, so he's gonna get like, what the fuck is going on? I'm gonna confuse him even more by doing this, as you see here, because I want him to be confused. I need him to be as confused as possible, so he completely loses sight of me, so I can use the time that he's kind of finding himself to reach that pallet. So this is what I'm doing here. And you see, again, I can tell he's pretty confused there. So right now I see he's looking straight at me. So what I'm going to do, which is another trick type of juke, but he's still kind of confused, as you can see there. Especially with the Ash running near him right now. He probably can't tell which one is which. So you see what did. I'm gonna go towards him right here, as you can see. When you're this close to him, it's really hard for him to see you as well. Even though you're still inside the resting, being this close to him is really hard for him to see you. It's very confusing. So this is what I'm gonna do here. You see, he's like completely confused. He already like kind of lost me there. So as soon as I noticed that, you see right then, you see I don't know how to explain that really. I just completely fucked his mind there. But now I got my chance. Now I can see he's like totally confused. Now it's my turn to go for the. You can see he gave me a lot of distance as well by being that confused. So this is my time to go for the pallet. Now I have the distance. He got a little panic there, so he kind of just turned the chainsaw, as you can tell. Now let me put that on fast motion so you can see how it actually was. But I'm thinking all of this. I know it's very quickly, but I'm thinking all of this as I'm doing that play. And obviously there's a lot of execution to it, because you could totally fuck up the 360 there. Because everything I did that was very much intentional. So again, first juke, second different juke, third juke, but in a different way. I'm just trying to confuse, and then he got confused. Now I can get enough distance to make it to the pallet. And again, you see, I did not try to loop the pallet because, again, he has 3 charges on that chainsaw, so he can, if he keeps using the charge, he can loop around and still hit you. So for that reason, I'm dropping the pallet right away, because I know I cannot really play around it. Again, here, same thing. You see how I faked going this way by breaking on the side, but I'm actually planning on going to that side. I know this pallet is not there anymore, so I have to rely on this pallet here. And I'm gonna get again a little stuck here. This is bad. You do not want to have this happening. Getting stuck like this, but it's very important as well. You see how close I'm running to the reason why I'm getting stuck there is because I'm trying to run as close as possible to the walls. This is very important, because if you're running like all the way very wide, all the way down here, you're losing distance, especially if he's not running as wide as you are. You want to be as close to the window to the wall as possible without actually bumping on it like I did there. That is very key. To see again how I adjusted there, and now I'm pretty much touching the wall. It's hugging the wall is what I like to call. That's how you need to loop that way to properly maximize your distance. Again, this is a 50-50. Not much I can say about this. I don't know if he's gonna backtrack or not. He's going to commit going the inside here, so it's a complete 50-50. And he doesn't know if I'm gonna vault or not. So in this case, I just chose the option that he would go around it, but he actually didn't. So I kind of fucked up that way. And again, I'm just trying to kind of break his ankles, I guess is kind of people like to call it, so I can get a. You see right there, I could have probably did a fast fall at that point because he was pretty confused. You see right there, he's completely lost. That's very funny. But yeah, I was just trying to gain distance to get to some type of win. And you see what I mean? Like because I'm very close to him, he has completely confused. It's very hard to see. And I was hoping he was while he was confused like that, I could vault this window, but he reacted soon enough right there and was able to stop me. Barely, but he was able to stop me from vaulting that. That was a pretty funny interaction, to say the least. Um, so here, this window is pretty safe, so I'm trying to use it. However, there's another window right here on my mouse. I should have went for that window already, but I didn't, so I'm gonna get hit for this. But again, I'm healed, so it's kind of good. Again, right here, I can go to the right there and make it to that window, but I'm gonna vault back instead. I know I'm gonna get hit from this, but it's fine. Whatever. I'm just making the chase last long with as best as I can. And again, I tried to 360 there, but this is just me. But I really do not lose. But I don't know if the skill or it's just the execution. But I guess he needs a bit of skill to do this. But you can see that even though I am doing a 360, I never really get confused. Even though my camera is spinning around, I never really get confused of where I am, even though I'm spinning around. Most people they just do a 360 and they get lost right away of where they are. So you see right there, even though I did the 360, I was still planning on going to Shack as soon as I got hit. So even though I spinning my camera like an idiot, I was still able to properly go to Shack. I didn't really lose sight of where I was. I don't know what to say about that. It's really just I don't know if it's skill or execution, but it's good if you can do that. Because then you can try to 360 when you shouldn't and still benefit from the boost. You know what I mean? Because the worst thing is when you should be using the boost instead of doing the 360, but instead you do the 360 and you get confused and you do not make the most of your boost because of it. That's what my point is. Again, he did not cross the safe line, so I don't have to vault that. But this is not how you do it. I'm not doing the stuttering. You need to do a little stuttering, like you just start walking a little bit while you wait for him to reach the safe line. You don't have to always be running towards the window, because if you're too close to the window, you lose the distance that you need to be able to get a fast fall. And he got mind game, so he just kind of left. Now here, I'm gonna try to buy a block. This is something you can do as well. You're faster than he is, so if you time it properly, you can actually make him whiff like that. But it is a little risky and whatnot, but I'm healed, so it's fine. And you see that whiff is gonna make the whole difference here. He actually tried to go around me, which I think was a mistake. He should have just hit me right there, I think. And again, he's trying to avoid me. That's not gonna work in his favor. This is good position. You have to position properly here, otherwise he can still hook. He can kind of push you to the side and hook you if you don't position properly your body here. And this is, I think, is the last chase. Again, you see the positioning there. Go back. No, further. There you go. You see again the positioning. I can see both sides with my camera and easily react to it. If I'm standing like right here, this is really bad in case he comes here. If I'm standing right here, it's really bad as well because I cannot see him going from this side. So here is the best position because I can cover both things at the same time. Now, I think I should have probably went down here because there's no safe balance at the top here. So I'm going to get hit eventually, especially being injured. This is not the safest play. I need to go down because I know there's a few paths that I can use down there, but I didn't. So this was probably a mistake right here. You see, he's pretty fast. I don't know if he was using play with your food, but he was moving very fast because he definitely does not have bloodless there. So right there, he probably didn't know, but the reason why I dropped down because to him, he again he's first person, so he can only see what's in front of him. He probably didn't know there was a, or he wasn't expecting me to drop down. He was expecting me to vault that window. Because I know he was expecting me to vault the window, that's why I actually didn't vault the window and I dropped down. Because you see, he's gonna lunge at the window, but he's gonna hit nothing because I'm actually dropped down. Right here is that hard. He's gonna whiff again. You cannot see that, but he whiffed again. And that allows me to make it to this window. But this side is very unsafe. I definitely cannot go to the left there and loop around to any pallet before he gets to me. So I'm gonna vault back. And it actually worked in my favor because he tried to swing again, which is he's gonna whiff. And now I get a lot of distance. He actually kind of lost me there. Or he gave up actually. But I have objects, so he's gonna come back. So again right here, let me actually go back so you guys can see this better. But I loop from this side. It was intentional as well. Where was it? I think it was around here. Yeah, so I know the window is there, like right to my right here. I know the window is there. So notice how I'm going to see, I'm looping from this side. This is on purpose instead of looping from the right side because I know this way I can get to that window from the good angle. And you see, I'm expecting him to be following me, so as you see from this angle, he has to go from this angle. He has to go all the way around the window here. If I jump from this angle, he doesn't have to go around. He just go straight ahead. So from this angle, from this side is much safer. If he's coming this way, this angle. So that's why I went that way. And now that gave me enough distance as well to loop all the way around back in. And this is something like I mentioned as well with the windows of opportunity. This is something I've used before here. I already know there's a pellet down there because while I was looping him at the top, I was noticing the locations of the pallets with windows, and I know there's a pellet down there that I can safely make too. And he probably doesn't. Yeah, like by the time I vaulted that window, I already knew I was going to go all the way back to this pallet. Okay, so you can see how far ahead I plan my chases. And you see he didn't know there was a pallet there, so he even tried to swing. Or maybe he did, I don't know. But he got pretty mad with that. And yeah, he rage quit. I mean, especially having whiffed like 3-4 times, I can kind of understand. Especially if you have play with your food, he lost all his stacks with those whiffs. So that was probably very frustrating. But yeah, guys, that's the breakdown. If you want to see the other montages, I have a playlist here on the end of the video. And yeah, I guess that's about it. What else can I say about this video? Not much. I mean, I pretty much covered it all. I guess I would just show that again because that was pretty funny, but I'll definitely show it again. But that's about it. And then I'll say my goodbyes. I love this song too. It's one of my favorites. This was so perfectly executed. Yeah, that's the video, guys. A lot of tips there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. The next one will be, like I mentioned, the what's it called, the nurse match from one of my other students. He's a PC player, so you guys are gonna be seeing a PC nurse. And yeah, if you want to try coaching and whatnot, check the description. And if you want your video next, just message me. Why not? And yeah, that's it. Let me just pause the recording here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.